Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. We are going to be celebrating the... nope, not the anniversary, the birthday of Lara Croft. We have Tomb Raider 2013 here for you. I'll hand it over to the runner commentary, let everybody introduce themselves.
Hello, everyone. Yes, indeed. If you didn't know, the canonical birthday of any version of Lara Croft, the year changes, but the birthday never changes, is February 14th. So we're a couple days out, and coincidentally, that's when the original 3 remasters come out. So hype for that. But today we're doing 2013, which was kind of meant as a prequel to all of her adventures, kind of an origin story. So yeah, we're gonna see that. On comms here with me, I've got Kavelish, a fellow runner of the Tomb Raider series. Kavelish, would you care to introduce yourself?
Sure. I'm Kavelish. I run the game Glitched and Glitchless on PC.
All right, so we got a long game to get through here, so let's just get on into it. Time is going to start when I select difficulty here. In 3, 2, 1, go. So you may have noticed there that I selected normal difficulty. We run most of these games on the normal difficulty, just kind of keeps the playing field level so that anyone on any platform, should they choose to play with mouse and keyboard or controller, is bound by the same, demands of the game, same mechanics of the game, because unfortunately these games, if you play on the easiest difficulty with a controller, will force lock-on aiming, and if you want to get quick headshots there, well, your reticle is going to just insta snap to the middle of enemies' torsos on you, so not really the best for controller players when it comes to speed running and precise aiming.
There's also a couple of other differences between the difficulties, mainly in the speed of walks in certain spots, but that doesn't come up too much since we only usually run on normal.
Yeah, I think like the slow walk with Whitman, if you jump it up to hard, is like a couple seconds faster or something like that.
Yep, that, and then there's a potential for a faster walk on easy when you're going underneath the platform before you get the lighter.
Yeah. See, as a console runner where we're running RTA, like any menu switches like that, you're not even going to even think to bother with, because you're going to lose as much time from menuing as you would gain from the movement speed. So we stay far away. So Lara wakes up after everything, getting knocked out on the beach here, hanging upside down. And we get to see one of the cool little bits of speedrun headcanon about Lara, and some explanation as to why she is so temperamental with all of her platforming. Lara actually has 4 feet. You guys don't believe me? She has 4 feet. You get to hear them in shadow on occasion. You can hear 2 sets of footsteps in one part when she's walking. And, okay, one more swing here. Watch your feet. Watch her feet. There you go. 4 feet. And in 2013, I guess you couldn't make a video game without impaling your protagonist through the abdomen. Happens in The Last of Us. Happens in 2013. Tomb Raider 2013, and it happens in the Deadpool game that came out in 2013. If anyone else knows of a game where the protagonist falls down and gets impaled through the abdomen by something that came out in 2013, please let me know. I would love to add to that list, but the fact that there's already 3 games is already enough to amuse me greatly.
Yeah, that is really weird.
Yeah, 3 games that came out in the same year that all have that in their game at some point.
And I don't think any of them are made by the same studio, so it's not like it was an internal thing.
Yeah, no, they are very, very separate studios for all 3 of them. So yeah, the game opened up Lara's kind of setting out on like her first adventure, really, as to trying to make her mark as an archaeologist and find this lost island of Yamatai. And she pushes. We learn throughout various flashback cutscenes from her friend Sam's camcorder, which is actually a great way to do flashbacks instead of how some games do it, might I add. That she really pushed for checking out this kind of uncharted territory against the advice of the more senior archaeologist that was with them. And they end up in a storm, their ship crashes, breaks apart, and they get all stranded on beach and end up finding some hostile survivors. One of which knocked Lara out and took her into this cave, which is where she's trying to escape from right now. So got a little bit of a puzzle coming up here, giving us a little bit of taste of the physics puzzles that are throughout the game, but throughout the run, we won't see too many of them. Most of them are used for the optional tombs, and this just being an any percent glitchless run, we are only looking to get to the end credits. I'm going to give those crates a little push so we don't have to wait too long on them. That was actually really good crate RNG.
Yeah, one of the few points of RNG in this game is where these crates spawn. And sometimes they can start all the way at the back, which is just annoying. But at most, they only add a couple seconds to, a 2-hour run. It's not too big of a deal.
Yeah. Yeah, unless you get like the world's worst RNG, or there's a little bit of physics RNG. Like, even after there was 3 crates that were sitting on the platform, when it lifted up, only one stayed on the platform. So that can happen with the physics. And then on top of that, when you only have 1 crate on the platform, they sometimes can hit the edge of the cage that they're supposed to go in there and bounce out instead of going into it. So those are points that you may reset there, but other than that, you just kind of live with whatever RNG you get there.
Here we just continue to go through this Scavenger's Cove. We're going to go through, the rest of the puzzles with a little bit of quick time, and then hopefully make it out on to the bluffs without any incident.
Yeah, and here we get to see a mechanic that's only used here in any of the games. And it's like tapping scramble up a slippery slope. Out of all 3 games, this is the only spot that this mechanic gets used. And we are out. And totally safe. Roll credits, right? Sure, nothing else bad's gonna happen. Get a nice, for the time too, a really nice, beautiful cinematic. I mean, this does look a little bit better. Failed to go over the fact that we are playing on the definitive edition, as I kind of add an extra syllable to definitive. It was a slight remaster that was done for the, I can't remember the console generation numbers at this point. There's way too many. But for PS4 and the Xbox 360, it was a slight little remaster that was done. So on PS4, it ended up running at 60 frames consistently, and as well gave it just a little bit of a graphical facelift. Not too much, but enough that, you can see it in parts where, the textures look a bit crisper. And also does make a bit of a difference with some of the tricks, trying to land on fences, posts, and stuff like that when you're not supposed to be doing that. You're a little bit more likely to slip off of them on this version, just because of the little bit of change to the textures.
I think that only comes up with 2 spots in the run, I believe.
Yeah.
Friendship skip and then final skip. So
Yeah.
I don't think Satori will be doing either of those, but
Yeah,
they're
we don't bother with that in this category because, yeah. Final skip has yet to be even proven that it is possible on Definitive Edition. I've only made the successfully made that jump once in practice, and I forgot to hit the loading trigger, so I couldn't properly test it. And then friendship skip, because of how hard it is to land on the fence, you're generally going to be spending more time trying to attempt the skip than it would be just to do the puzzle there, which only takes about a minute anyway, so.
Yeah, those are both potentially great skips, but for the difficulty, especially on Definitive Edition, it's really not worth it. Whereas on PC, it's kind of automatic once you get used to the motions.
Yeah, we also have the fun of doing it with controllers where, you know, our directional inputs may not be quite as precise. You know, you're forward if you're a millimeter off to the side. Well, you're a millimeter off to the side and you're going to go slightly sideways. Forward isn't perfectly forward.
I can't just sit here.
Alright, so now we're going to get what ends up being Lara's signature weapon for these reboot or survivor games, whichever you choose to refer to them as. Her bow. Although this is kind of a makeshift bow, we're just going to jump off this rock to get up here early instead of, you know, jumping up onto the roof of the building next to us. Slightly faster. And hope that I don't mess up deer shot. I also got bad swing RG. Wow.
Just remember Ross training.
And we got deer shot first try. So the deer has a consistent spawning point there, but it will start running away pretty quick. So as long as you're ready for it, you can queue up a shot right away. First shot will stun it, and then you can get a second shot in to kill it, possibly a third shot. But you can get it before it runs off on you there, which is sure beats having to chase it down.
Yeah, and any amount of pull on the bow, aside from just you know, hitting the trigger once. So as long as you hold it down for even longer than a press, is enough to stun the deer.
Yeah. Yeah, if you fire right away, you're just going to do some damage and it'll run away immediately. You need a little bit of a pull. But if you're holding back as soon as you're coming out of the cutscene, you'll have enough pull by the time you adjust your aim to be on to the deer to get that stun. So we bought our first skill at the fire there. It's a kind of a forced tutorial on skill purchases, so you have to buy one there no matter what. We choose to get advanced salvaging just so we have to collect less crates in the next section coming up, because we will have to upgrade the axe, which we are about to pick up right now. So it's, again, very makeshift, and we need it to be a bit stronger in a little bit, so we'll have to grab some salvage. And the less we need to pick up, of course, you know, the faster it is. Kinda handy. Fun fact, though, you can actually do a glitch to clip through doors in this game. And if you get into there and you clip through the door instead of burning down the barrier, you miss the cinematic trigger there. And there's actually a prompt to pick up that axe. But it doesn't work properly, so when you hit the prompt, Lara just like goes stiff as a board at like a 45-degree angle on the table. It is really weird.
Yeah, I think it's something they originally put in, decided against, and then just because of the way they changed it, it no longer mattered whether or not there was an animation, so it just kind of got left as nothing.
Yeah. So here Lara walked out into a bear trap, and we got like this really tense section with a bunch of wolves that all spawn at the same spots. So we just sit here and just wait for each wolf to spawn in. And this is one of the few parts where we can pre-draw the bow without her like getting her arm tired, shaking, and releasing the arrow early. So I can just hold the shots and wait for each wolf.
Not so bad.
So yeah, we're gonna grab a fire here. This one crate that's hanging here gives us more salvage than the regular crates. So we only need to grab this one and then 2 more because we will need 50 to upgrade the axe.
I don't like the sound of that.
And the game hasn't prompted us to do that yet, but we can grab the salvage on our way up there so that, you know, we don't have to backtrack at all.
Running through this forest, you hit a point where there's wolf scramble. And during that wolf scramble, you'll see at some point Satori will start just rolling instead of jumping and rolling. That's because there's 2 different attacks that the wolves can do. One of them actually knocks you down and enters a QTE, but they can only do that if you're standing or jumping. So as long as he's rolling the entire time, he doesn't have to worry about, you know, that attack, and he just gets hit for a little bit of damage.
Yeah, exactly. So, like, I know I have the safe distance. As soon as I pick up the salvage, I get 1 jump in there and transition straight into those rolls.
Himiko, are you sure you're not channeling sound, Dr. Whitman?
So yeah, this is the slow walk we were talking about. If you were to change the difficulty, it does slightly change Lara's walk speed, but not by a significant amount to mess around with all that menuing.
Even what may seem to us irrational, we still have much to learn about the world.
You sound like my father.
So this is the senior archaeologist that I was mentioning, Dr. James Whitman. He's a little bit of a prima donna,
Incredible.
which we won't see too much of, but you do get it in all of the aforementioned cutscenes. All right, so got a little bit of forced stealth here. You just gotta wait really for the first guy here. It gets to a certain distance, and we just roll right past all these guys.
Controversial opinion. Dr. Whitman is my least favorite character from any Tomb Raider game.
I don't think that's that controversial. I have yet to meet anyone that likes Whitman. For this guy, we're just going to wait until that last stone, his foot leaves it. And then this one, we can go pretty early on. We just need this guy to start moving. And here, Lara makes her first kill ever. Meant to be quite the traumatic experience for her, and then she goes on to be a regular video game protagonist after that, so not sure how traumatic it was for her, but they do sell it a bit. These are the 1 QTE in the game where we don't actually have to do the QTE. Well, we do, but you don't have to time it. So I can just sit here and spam them and get them right away. We get a dramatic opportunity to shoot here. We don't actually have to shoot, but we get the option, so, you know, why not shoot this guy in the groin?
It's a rite of passage at this point. Everybody does it.
Yeah. It's like, if you get a PB without the groin shot, like, did you really get a PB? Did you really? But yeah, we're just waiting on his pounce there anyway, so there's nothing else for us to do. You may as well. All right, let's see if we get flashlight name. I aimed early. I'll just meme by aiming too early.
Yep. So, flashlight meme. The flashlight that's thrown at us actually has a hitbox and can take one of the bullets.
Yeah, so
And so,
had I not aimed
can end
too
up-
early there, the game would have taken control of my reticle and pulled it way off to the left like it did. I would have been on the right guy's head had I, not aimed early. And then the second guy, yeah, he has that flashlight and it has a massive hitbox. And yeah, it's very easy to hit the flashlight instead of that guy.
I frequently use that particular fight as like a litmus test for how the rest of my run's gonna go. If I do well in that fight, I feel confident about the run. If I don't, the whole time I'm worried about, is my aim gonna mess me up here?
Fair. Yeah, that's a fair one.
I can see smoke coming from the old ruins.
So you're saying that this is going to be a crazy mess of a run for me. Gotcha.
What? Who?
Men. I don't know why.
So
I mean,
To kill some of them. I had no choice.
I've had great runs that start with the terrible first fight, but
How easy it was. You've got to
So you'll notice
Here's hoping
on
here's-
a couple of these guys that I'm going for body shots. On an unalerted enemy, you can kill them on a single body shot. It's got to be to the body, though, and not their arm or anything like that. An arm shot's just going to alert them. So this first guy will headshot, but him, he's not fully alerted yet. He just slightly turned to Lara, so I just shoot him in the chest. Make sure that I don't accidentally miss the shot. Bill,
there's a couple there's a couple ways in this game that enemies have effectively 1 HP. Unalerted, just there. Additionally, anytime that they're not standing on solid ground. So I know earlier on we saw the shot on the guy climbing down the ladder. If he's climbing down a ladder on a zip line, he's also effectively 1 HP.
Yeah. So just a moment there, you noticed me kind of go off to the side and go up onto a rock. We were supposed to actually go up a path to the left and go through a burning temple that's now to our left of where we currently are. It goes through a bit of like stealth tutorials and that. There's a bunch of enemies inside it, but we can go up on that rock and position Lara as far out as we can, and we do a scramble jump. So this game kind of prioritizes its animation slightly above its physics engine. So you can scramble further out from a ledge than you actually can stand for a brief second, which allows us to get a little bit of extra distance to jump further out. So if you just went for that jump, normally you're not going to be able to make the rooftop that she ended up grabbing there. But because of the scramble, we were able to jump from a few pixels further out. And here's another little skip to get up to the wolf cave faster.
Yep, this is the way to get back down from the wolf cave. So instead of using the zip line to get down, we climb the zip line up instead of taking the circuitous path around the cliff.
Yeah. And here I'm holding aim right now. There's going to be a jump scare wolf from the left. Lara has a startle animation normally, but if you aim, it just cancels out that startle animation. You're able to maintain your forward momentum. Just wait for the autosave to happen. We reload checkpoint, puts us a little further in the cave, and I could potentially get a jump forward, yeah.
So fun fact about that wolf fight right there on PC, at a certain FPS, you have a 0 frame window on one of the inputs, which makes it undoable or uncompletable. So you have to set a capped FPS, usually about between 120 and 140.
You know, I think I knew that and completely forgot. I was surprised at first when you said that. I'm like, well, okay, wait. I did know this.
It's also unique because on PC Glitched, we run the game at about 180 FPS to enable a couple of glitches. So you have to be able to avoid that. Otherwise, the game becomes a very difficult RNG fest on whether or not you can complete the wolf fight.
Lara, cooperate with me. Thank you. So you'll notice I'm doing some jumps on the walls. Lara's climbing animation is a little on the slow side. So you can jump up and just reattach and then simultaneously jump again. Just allows you a little bit quicker movement on some of these walls where if we did conventional climbing, it'd be quite a bit slower. It would add up by a significant amount over the course of a run. However, it also does make it a little bit more risky that you could fall off of the walls. Especially with Lara does love to read directional inputs interpretively at times. Or just not grab things. There we go.
So you see here and coming up much more so, there's a lot of fights and a lot of enemies that are not required. So we just bypass a ton of them. Most of the time, as long as there's no one machine gunning, it's pretty safe to run by a lot of the enemies.
Yeah.
I'm going to try and send an SOS from an old radio tower up here.
And even when there's guys machine gunning, we'll still take the risk with a lot of sections.
Okay, I'll let you know when I find it.
So yeah, 3 more guys here that we do not need to deal with.
And then coming up to the section, anytime I watch somebody playing it casually or for the first time, they spend a lot of time, playing stealthily around after the campfire and trying to, work their way through it. You're going to see a slightly less cautious approach here.
Yeah, but first, we're going to quickly hit this fire, and we're going to buy 2 skills. We're going to buy 1 to give us increased ammo capacity, so we don't have to worry too much about running out. And then we're also going to get pain tolerance, which is going to make it a little easier to get through some of those encounters we were talking about, where we just run through, because Lara's going to be able to withstand a little bit more damage. Yeah, we're just going to ignore all these guys. Hopefully we don't get blocked at the doorway. Nice.
This bunker. World War II era. The Japanese.
And we can get shot off that zip line as long as your movement's been good throughout the entire area. It's pretty rare, but you can get shot off of it, and you might land on top, get lucky and land on top of the roof and just be able to drop through the hole that you're supposed to drop down anyway. But if you get shot off a little before that, you'll likely fall to your death, and the checkpoint is at the very beginning of that section, so you'll have to run through everyone all over again. Sir, out of my way.
One question: does the definitive edition have the one enemy that can spawn in the
Inside here?
this room with you?
Yeah, it can happen. One of those guys, like one of the guys from the previous haul, basically clips inside this room on occasion, and you just have a random guy standing inside this room with you. Yeah, it's been a long time since I've seen it, but yeah, it can happen. In the runs I've done of this lately, I still have not really fully de-rusted this room, so let's see how this goes for me. Alright, well, 4 out of 5, I guess, ain't too bad. Rude. You're way back there. Oh, whatever. Little messy, but it's fine.
I've had way worse. So one of the things that happened in that fight that may not have been too apparent, if you pick up ammo in this game with a weapon equipped, whatever the equipped weapon is will instantly be reloaded. So you can time ammo pickups to actually reload your weapons for you.
Yeah, I think it kind of works with the fact that the buttons are the same and reload animations aren't required in the game. So like when you're going through a small crawl space, as long as it allows you to change to guns, you can reload weapons without any reload animation. So I think that's why the game does that, is it's just reads the prompt for both purposes and does both of them without any animation.
Coming up, we have one of the first bigger fights of the run that is either more than just a couple enemies or is something completely bypassable. So we're going to kind of time our movements and who we kill to set up as best of a pathing for ourselves as we can. Make everything as easy as possible.
Okay, well, I get the shove tutorial on this guy. During this fight, I do like to get that shove tutorial because it's better to have it when you're expecting it than when it's not happening. Like when you don't want it to happen, because it can mess with your movement a bit. The first time you get physically close to an enemy... Oh, sweet. Perfect molly. Oh, you didn't burn. Okay, never mind. That wasn't a perfect molly. I shot him early. But you'll notice, as we were talking about the 1 HP, those guys climbing down, I can just shoot with one shot. Where's the second? Thank you.
She's still alive! Get the big guy out here!
So you guys heard me say perfect molly there. It didn't end up being that way. But if you get a nice molly throw at you when you're standing up on that platform, the fire burns there for a while, and you can just jump down, and all the guys that enter the arena from behind you there off that ledge will just burn up and die on their own without you actually needing to shoot them.
And then here we have the 1.5 minute climb that should have been a cutscene.
Yeah. This is probably the hardest strat of the entire run. You just hold forward and try not to fall asleep. And
There's about... Sorry, go ahead.
yeah, even the sections that look dramatic, the only input you're giving is just holding forward. So
There's only about 2 points during this climb that it actually checks if you're holding forward, but it's easier to just hold it the entire time. One is right before the climb up after the ladder breaks, and then the other one is right there at the top before the jump.
yeah. Now, we do have to be a little careful of a soft lock once we get to the top. There's 2 dials we need to turn to get a frequency to send a duress signal to try and get us some help to get off this island. The first one will allow you to keep turning it after you give the input, And if you do that, it'll register that you've given the input to lock it in, but the game will recognize that the dial kept turning past the frequency, so it will not be on the correct frequency to send the signal. And you'll just be stuck on the second dial without the first one being on the correct frequency anymore.
That's one way to get down. Fuel tanks.
So another little small puzzle here. We just gotta blow up some fuel tanks because why not? Now we're actually sending a signal to try and get
This should do the trick.
the attention of the pilots we just contacted with the radio. And we get to throw Lara like a rag doll there. And I like to make Lara wiggle for this first part because we don't really need to direct her for it until the camera perspective changes, so.
Anytime I'm doing it, I either don't move at all or move wildly the entire time, and there's no rhyme or reason to my decision.
Nice. Yeah, I go for a wiggle. I just make her do a little dance. And then throughout the rest of it, we just basically try to keep her in a nice straight line. All right.
And then, yeah, down here, as soon as we make the jump, we just wait for the experience meter to show up. As soon as that happens, you can reload checkpoint to skip a small cutscene.
I have to get to him.
Yes, Lara, I definitely wanted you to grab that. Thank you.
That's my mantra of the entire run.
She always has the magnet hands except when you want her to.
This part was originally designed to be static so you could explore it. I'm not sure why they made the decision to change it and make it a dynamic run through. It definitely makes it feel more like anxiety inducing, but I don't know. I would have liked to have a chance to just explore that, especially on my casual playthroughs.
I didn't even know that one. So you're giving me new, fresh information there.
Yeah, that I learned that one from I think it might have been the devs reacting to Caddy's.
You know, I watched Caddy's stream live when the premiere happened for that, but I must have completely missed that part. Alright, so here's one of the sections with a bunch of machine gun guys. You can run past pretty much all of them. I am going to kill one of them though, because they sometimes get a little bit too good of aim from the AI, so we're just going to get rid of that guy. He's the one that tends to spam you the most. And I'm gonna die anyway because I couldn't quite get to the corner.
Yeah, sometimes the machine gunners just decide that they've had enough and it's gonna stop here, but
not a big deal though. Unless you're going for a PB, it's not really something to worry. Going for a PB with a moderately optimized time, I should say. I didn't expect that to actually hit. I felt I overdragged it, but here we are. Came real close again, damn. So here we're supposed to use rope arrows to make a bridge to get across, but we can actually just bounce off the rocks and skip having to do that, which is good because trying to do that with guys spamming you in the back not going to go that well.
In the glitched run, we actually skip picking up the arrow by clipping that fight. And the other side of the river, the game assumes that you just have the rope arrow, so it automatically is assigned to you. There are a few items that that's not the case in, though. So, since that one is absolutely necessary to complete the game, multiple points, it's nice that that happens to be the case.
Yeah. Yeah, could you imagine if that didn't happen? You'd have to do the fights.
Yeah, I don't like doing fights. I like skipping as many as possible, so...
There's the signal.
Anyone out there? Rob? I'm here, Reyes. What's your situation?
A couple of the ones that we found, the game does actually...
This place is insane, Rob.
I don't know if the game ever gives you the lighter, but for instance, there is a glitchless way to skip obtaining the lighter. However, the very next point requires it, so you either have to use a glitch or your run dies. It's one of the things I would like to figure out a way to do glitchless, but I don't think it's possible.
So there you saw me taking advantage of the unalert enemy 1 HP rule. Just 2 quick little shots in their backs.
To get over there.
And now we get a little bit of drama.
So the very first time I played this, I didn't realize that like sometimes in the air the game gives you control and sometimes it doesn't, and it doesn't always tell you when it expects you to have control either.
Yeah.
So if you're holding forward when Laura falls off, you can actually miss the ledge and just fall to your death with no idea what happened.
Kind of like that.
I have to get over there.
Even though I was hitting all the proper prompts there, but yeah, that was something. Lara just did not want to attach to the wall like she's supposed to.
Sorry, I did not mean to curse you there.
Yeah. Been a long time since I've had this section just break. There we go. That's what's supposed to happen.
Hey, Lara. Rob
right.
told us about the plane.
I've only ever had it once in all of my hours with this game, but come on. Rabbits, show it off.
We tracked her.
I had one run where those rabbits came out and their hitboxes collided with each other and one just like shot zooming backward back into the bush. It was amazing.
I have them coming out like that quite frequently, but they rarely collide.
Yeah.
I think it happens a little bit more often in Glitched where you do the dirty trick slide, but
Yeah.
it's still very rare.
Himiko? Captain Jessup? Oh my god!
All right. Any metal fans in chat? Because Lara's gone to visit a Cannibal Corpse album cover shoot. Won't this make a good Cannibal Corpse album cover? I think it would.
Yeah. My favorite unique death of the game happens right here, and most people never see it.
What's happening here?
So, when you're in the tunnel, just as you enter after the cutscene, you can have Laura turn around and walk back into the room, in which case she meets a very unfortunate fate.
I don't even know if I've ever done that to find out.
It's not too flashy. The big guy just hits her with his club.
Could imagine. All right, and I like to count the heads here. I make a as reference in my splits of heads will roll. Because we get a bunch of heads that, well, they roll. And some of them come down with Lara. So we got 1, 2, just 2. Yeah, better than my last couple runs. My last couple runs have only been 1.
What's the most that can come down there?
I think I've had up to like 5.
I've had a 5. I've never had 6.
I hope this thing still works.
Yeah, 2 or 3 seems to be the most common, though.
I heard something below. The Guardians can kill him.
And we skip the cutscene here, but we got the very iconic line from Lara of, "I hate tombs," once she drops in here. Again, taking advantage of that 1 HP, just shooting all these guys off as they drop in. And I know this kind of looks like one of those areas where you could skip the enemies, can't you? No, you will just have a random piece of dynamite pretty much spawn on your body if you try to go through the crawl space without killing the enemies. And kills you every time.
One of the things that happened there, though, was placing Laura in a specific spot so the enemies all climb down the same rope.
Yeah, I stuck around the sarcophagus or whatever in the middle of the room there, because if you get too far forward, there's 2 actual zip ropes that drop into the arena, and if you get to a further up point, they'll drop in from either of them.
Yeah, it's just an easy little manipulation to make everything very smooth right there. There's a couple of other times we do it, like in the last fight where we reset checkpoint to know exactly where the enemies will be following.
Yeah, the boat fight's another one where we hang back a little bit so they only use the front zip lines.
So I assume it's the same here. Is there an audio issue?
Yeah, after
bell?
this, yeah, that's one thing they did not fix with the definitive edition. Oop. Helps if I switch weapons, eh?
So as soon as the fight's over and he pulls the bell back to smash it against the horizontal pillar up there, there's going to be a little bit of an audio explosion for about 20 seconds.
Yeah, so it's not horrible, but it is. So, little forewarning for especially headphone users. Yeah, get ready for a lot of loud grunts from Lara. Getting ahead of myself. Did I get both? That did.
Shit. I've got to get out of here. That should do it.
Yeah, for whatever reason, they just did not get the audio balance right and just didn't fix it. For this part.
The animation where the room kind of tumbles around her, I really like. I'm not sure exactly how they did it.
Oh my god. Come on. Don't need my inputs, game. This is actually pretty useless reload checkpoint for console, but I do it anyway just so I don't have to watch the slow walk animation while she's on the radio. It's the same amount of time RTA to do the slow walk or the restart checkpoint there, but the restart checkpoint just skips a little radio conversation there so that you can just move forward pretty much right away.
Yeah, I think on PC it's between 1 and 2 seconds, so even bad menuing can be a hindrance to your time, actually.
Here, we've talked many times about the skipping of enemies. This is one of the parts of the run where it can go wrong very easily, so I am going to kill a couple for safety, but we still have a high chance of this section not going the way we want it to, so I'll get rid of these 3 guys, which should hopefully not give the guys behind enough time to close in. And once we're in the water, we're pretty much safe.
Easy day. Good job. So this game has a love of these like slider events. Happens a few times. This
Yeah.
is, I think there's one more after this. I could be wrong.
There's at least one more. But there's these barriers that you can shoot. Well, you can shoot. You have to shoot. There. As long as you know that they're coming, though, you can shoot them early and avoid the slow motion animation that happens should you get too close to them.
Despite looking different, the parachuting is the exact same. You're just slaloming in between path.
Yeah. Yeah, I know a lot of people that casually that section has been chaos and a headache for them, but once you know a path through the trees, it's pretty simple. All right, so Lara's partially injured from that fall right there. She still can jump for some reason, but if I were to try to roll, she would just kind of like stagger and grab her side even more. So I don't do any scramble jumps, I just do straight up jumps for this part.
The smell.
And there's a freak piece of tech that can happen here where Lara moves at a regular speed through here instead of slow walking through the water. No idea how it happens, so if anyone wants to find out how to consistently make Lara move faster through this part, I will love you forever.
Yeah, this is the walk that I've only ever had fast on easy.
Yeah.
That's not to say that it has anything to do with that. It could just be, happenstance.
Yeah, it can just happen seemingly random, because any theory I've had that I've tested as to how it occurs has been pretty much disproven, so. Okay, fine. Be that way. Notice me. Try to get those guys so no other guys spawn in, just because they can't smack you on your way through. The 2 guys that do spawn in though are just melee enemies, so you can run past them for the most part. You don't really have to worry about the spawns. It's easier and less of a headache if you prevent them. Alright, and we get a little bit of a unskippable cinematic here. Lara's recollected herself. She found a lighter. So now we have fire arrows. She also used that to heat up arrow tip and cauterize her wounds.
Lara Croft, field medic.
Apparently.
Can you hear me? Roth?
She's gonna radio in and make contact with Roth,
I'm fine.
reassess the plan, try to tell them that it's a long story as how she got down here so fast, because apparently saying I fell is a long story that you can't just say.
Long story.
So coming up, we have one of the more chaotic fights, especially for the casual players, where there's enemies spawning in multiple locations, and they're destroying cover around you in some cases, and they're flanking on all sides. We take a little bit different approach here.
First fight, we're just not going to do it.
Yep.
Game wants us to fight there. Yeah, we're just going to say no.
Second fight we do take, but we position ourselves in a way that we know where both every enemy is coming from, and that we have like the barrels that we can use as
So,
an easy way to kill some of the more shielded opponents.
okay, go wide. Oh my god. Can you guys... What the hell was that behavior? Sir, please? Well, not a good start to this fight. And I had to reload for that. Well, let's get caught back up to proper strat. Thank you. All right. Can I hit my headshots, please? Okay, jump down. All right, well, cleaned it up toward the end there. A little bit of a rough start. But at the beginning of the fight, because it takes the guys a little bit to close in on you, I turned around immediately to burn a piece of wood, so that once the fight was over, all I had to do was hit the crank there. Gonna jump off this to avoid a little bit of a cinematic. It's only a few seconds, but, time saves, time save.
How can they live like this? Oh my god.
And then right here, this part of the route, I don't know, I can't really contribute too much to, just because it is a very different route in this spot specifically between any PC route and...
Yeah, so we take a little bit of a easier version of a skip here. There's a second fight that you're supposed to do. When I turned off to the side to jump off a railing there, you were supposed to go straight, and there ends up being a fight. You meet one more member of the crew, back up with them, and there ends up being a little bit of a showdown fight there. But we skip it by jumping off the railing and jumping off some rocks to get around and get up to you here, which is where we go after that fight normally. Sir, don't be rude. Gonna preemptively get rid of that barrel just so it doesn't blow up on us during this fight.
Oh no.
Sure, everything's reloaded. So here we're gonna get 2 guys off zip lines. Blow up that barrel, blow up that barrel, and then we just try to kill everyone else as fast as possible. Ideally get the dynamite guys to drop their dynamite when they're about to throw them. I was hoping that other guy was going to be close enough. All right, and once that other dynamite guy runs back there. No, the fight's over. So here, the member of the crew, Grim, makes a last stand, headbutts that guy, and falls down to his death with him. So rip Grim.
The palace. I've got to get to the palace.
Reload checkpoint here because I did mention that one fight that we did skip in the middle. There's the enemies that are from that fight can actually shoot you in the side while you're on this rope. So reload checkpoint puts us onto the top platform here. So I don't actually have to climb up the ladder, which doesn't really save that much time. But it also makes it so that I'm not going to get shot in the side and die on this rope.
I got her!
Now we're coming up to a little bit of like platforming, running away from some enemies, and then hoping to not get hit just as we're jumping.
The one section of the game that I would go as far to say that the devs did a bad job on. They gave the enemy AI just standard guns, standard aiming mechanics, and that in a section where, as the player, you cannot take cover, you cannot stop moving. All you can do is run forward in a straight line, and the enemies sometimes will just lock on their aim well enough to spam you to death. You only have one option as a player, because if you stop moving, the platforms that you're on collapse and you'll die that way. So your only option is to run forward. And you still can die from doing the only thing that you have control over.
Lara, I've got them in my sight.
Here goes.
Coming up, additionally, I think one of the riskiest shots I've ever seen taken is when Roth snipes here in a second.
Oh yeah, the very last snipe.
Yep.
I thought I lost you, girl. Are you okay? Stop. Don't move. They'll see you. Wait. Go now.
Right, so each of these sections, Roth is going to tell us to stop moving. We can still technically move, we just can't go to the next section of the white painted wood. If we were to try to reach for the next section, we would get shot.
Thanks for the cover. I think that makes
But yeah, this is the shot Kavelish was just talking about. The fact that Roth takes this shot. Their heads side by side, and he goes for it.
Well, also, he had to, it was untimed, not knowing that she was going to, hit him in the stomach to make him bend over or anything.
Yeah.
It was just a wild shot.
Yeah. So yeah, this is the section I was talking about. You can see I've got hit a couple times, and there's been some blood splatter, but on occasion those enemies can just have god tier aim, and you have no control over it. There's all you can do is move forward. So
I'll come back. I promise. I can't do that now.
But as you always want to do in a survival situation, just go into a small cave where you don't know if there's an actual exit or anything like that. And we are pretty close to, the halfway point of the run. So, we probably could use a break, couldn't we?
Yeah. If you're ready for one, just let me know.
So, yeah, let's do that right now.
Perfect. Yeah, so like I was saying earlier, during these longer runs, we like to take a break so everybody can get up, stretch, get some water, anything they need to do. So we are going to take a quick break. Before we take the quick break, though, just as a reminder, unapologetically, Black and Fast will be live next weekend, February 16th through the 19th. You can come celebrate by watching a 4-day event full of speedruns and black joy. Use exclamation UBAF in Twitch chat for more information. And we'll see you in just a few minutes, everybody. Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. We are celebrating Lara Croft's birthday. We are in the middle of a Tomb Raider 2013 run. I will hand it back over, and whenever you're ready, you can take it away.
All right. So we're going to take a small time loss here. Any fans of The Descent?
Yeah.
Let's get back into it. In 3, 2, 1. Go. So Lara fights those guys and just grabs her weapons and jumps off. And yeah, we got this nice little scene. What's up, Lara? Just enjoying a pool of fruit punch. All right, and now we're back to control.
So here we're going to run through the geothermal caves. You can see Satori started by selecting fire arrows because that's exactly what he's going to need as soon as he picks his first ammo. And then we're going to continue our way through here, and everywhere that there's the green gas, if you shoot that with a fire arrow, you can cause an explosion.
A little bit of quick movement here to get into this little cinematic. You can only like slow walk when you come out of there, so a scramble forward and then a melee shoulder charge gets her into the cinematic trigger a little faster than doing that slow walk. So each of these things, you actually can just blow Lara up with them and she won't die. But there's some muscle memory from the other Tomb Raiders there. Just randomly jumping in, making me shoot the wrong arrow. But
So in this game, scrambles are considered silent, but scramble and then roll is not. So more often in the future.
Yeah, that ain't good. We're just gonna reload checkpoint there. I got rare RNG where those guys just kind of stand and talk to each other instead of the one guy's supposed to kind of go like, hey, our buddy up at the top of the stairs just died, and kind of wander off.
Leave it for the next shift. Hey, don't take too long down there. What was that?
There we go. That's what we want.
I'll take a look.
It's him going up. Because we can kill all these guys nice and quiet, and it prevents a spawn of a whole bunch of guys that, you know, have armor and spammy guns and, you know, just a whole headache.
Here we're going to continue sneaking, and in this spot, like I was saying earlier, the scramble is silent. If you were to roll, it would cause an alert.
Yeah, so that's why in that little middle section there, I just did 2 scrambles forward instead of letting her roll at all. Here, I'm not going to roll at all or scramble just because I want these enemies to get into certain spots so that when we blow up the gas here, it kills everyone except, why are you up there still? Okay then. I don't know why that guy was there, but sure.
He was just persistent.
Right. Hands sometimes forget which Tomb Raider I'm playing. So from 2013 and then into Rise and Shadow, they changed the special ammo type bind with the rope arrow bind. So occasionally my brain just will forget which game I'm playing. Here, ideally, we're going to prevent us. Nope, we got the spawn. I aimed too early. This back guy, you can prevent spawning. It doesn't take long to get him unless he hides behind the rock a bunch. But you can prevent the spawn of the fourth guy there. So here we're actually going to blow up Lara because we don't need to move forward right away. There's a small cinematic anyway, so we just hold aim as soon as we open up the valve and just blow her up. As Kvelich was mentioning, we just went past one of the spots there is a skip for. But this puzzle, like I was saying earlier, only takes about a minute, and trying to get it on the definitive edition is a real headache. It's not easy. So chances are you're going to spend longer trying to pull off the skip than it would be to have just done the puzzle.
Yeah, on PC, you can actually jump on the railing that by the arrows that Satori picked up, and then jump from there straight to the exit of this room.
Yeah.
Basically leaving your friends in that dangling prison to die, which is why we call it friendship skip.
Yeah. Yeah, which you can jump on that same railing, but as I was mentioning with the updated textures and that, it is so much more slippery. So getting Lara's feet to actually stick a landing on that railing is you're looking at like 1 pixel to stick that without her sliding right off immediately.
We're out, but this place is falling apart. Set up a rendezvous point back across the bridge.
And coming up, we have the section called Burning Village. It's kind of self-explanatory in that the entire village is burning. There's going to be mostly just avoiding enemies with 1 fight.
Yeah, bunch of fire, bunch of explosions, and just running on through. Interesting enough, you can get... Okay, that was interesting. That guy turned around. You can get close enough to those guys to get a stealth takedown prompt on them, but it doesn't do anything.
I did not know that. I always reset checkpoint because PC can have a glitch right there where the trigger never happens.
Yeah, it can happen on this too, but it's so extremely rare that you kind of just run the risk. But the room afterward where we entered, there is a glitch where that cutscene just won't trigger, and you just walk into the room and you're just standing in the room and soft locked.
Yeah, if you're fast enough on PC, it ends up being like a 50-50 chance. So we just almost always reset just out of habit. This fight, you're going to see him run around to try to put enemies in certain spots.
Oh my god, can you not get weird on the collision? Okay, you're dead. They're going up and down, up and down. You have to watch out for these dynamite guys. They will kamikaze if you get too close to them. Oh, you're in the middle. So you always need to be aware of their locations and not let them get too close. All right, here we got one guy with melee and one guy with spammy gun, so we're gonna get rid of spammy gun first. And then that guy. So we kill those first 3 guys for safety, and then we get stuck on this guy. That's not good. Okay, we're fine. And then run past the rest of this.
You had me worried for a second.
Yeah, that wasn't fun. I mean, getting stuck on him is not the worst because he's still not going to shoot, and he's pretty much your biggest risk going through there. That first guy with the machine gun, he's the most likely to start spamming shots at you and push you into gray and inevitably dying. Okay, why'd you switch guns?
I did not know about that bank shot. That is handy.
Why are you way back there? And why did the collision push me backward? What the hell? Thank you. Okay, here I can't really see these guys well, so I'm just going to watch the XP. And 40 means I only killed 1. There we go. There's 2 heavily armored guys up there. You get 40 XP for killing each of them, so just watch the XP to know whether or not they both died or not, because those 2 guys both have machine guns and will spam the hell out of you.
Stay away from me!
Come with us. We won't hurt you.
Stay back! Sam! Run!
Here we have another instance of just run by everyone. There's the first guy we can sometimes kill with a grenade or a shot, and then after that we can just run by everybody.
Yeah.
As soon as we get to the checkpoint, we're going to reload it to despawn all the enemies behind us.
Yeah. So we're going to trigger this cutscene twice. We're going to move forward just to get the checkpoint, reload, and it'll give us the cutscene again, but all the guys behind will have the despawn, so we're not going to get spammed in the back here as we move forward, because we're going to get spammed in the face too, so you can just move forward, but you're very high risk of dying there anyway, so and she's going to miss the rope. We love to see it, Lara. That's okay, though. We can just go for the slow trudge through the water. Yeah, and the first guy that we shot the grenade at before running past everyone else, like, you don't necessarily need to kill him. Just shooting the grenade at him is enough for him to take cover and move a bit, so that way he doesn't spam you too much in the back while you're trying to get through.
Here we have a little bit of movement puzzle as we climb the remainder of this building after set on fire.
And we just hope everything works as intended. There's a few spots during all of this that can behave a little off at times.
This is one of those speeches that I can recite entirely from memory.
Yeah. Any other non-believers?
Any other non-believers?
Do some rolls into the camera here just to get into the trigger for this a little faster.
And then here's our final ascent of the burning village. We're going to climb up to escape and then get a nice Mirror's Edge homage at the top.
Ooh, that fence hit me. So some of the debris falling does have collision and can actually knock you if you're in midair away from the wall. That fence hit me, but fortunately I stayed enough in front of the craggy wall that I could reattach. And here, we hope the game doesn't crash during this cutscene. There's, doesn't matter which version of the game you play, there is a few crash points that are, depending on the version, common. So I know for PC, right near the beginning of the game was one of them. There's that little devil's chimney we kind of scooted up. For the definitive edition, during this cutscene is a potential crash point, so we hope we don't crash. Yeah. However, because of the common crash points, there is the community has made a rule. You can pause time on a crash, reload, and commence time again once you reach the point of the crash. And there we go. There it is. So we'll just load back into the game, and we'll just have to do the jump to the helicopter again.
And the verifiers are very much aware and used to retiming any crashes. So if that does come up, it's something that's almost expected at this point.
Yeah. So yeah. If you're looking to run these games, don't fret if it crashes. You are more than allowed to, right after he said barely made it here in one piece, I could have paused time there, and jumping back to the helicopter here, I could leave the time paused until we reach the point that the game crashed again. So.
And then if you're playing on PC, the very first fire that you come across PlayStation. The very first fire that you come across in the game has a crash point there as well.
We have to land!
Not in this weather.
We can't leave them behind!
I barely made it here in one piece.
Do it!
She'll pull apart. And then this line. Love that delivery. Love that delivery. That actor just nailed it. He only gets a couple lines, but
he poured his heart and soul into that line.
So everyone except the pilot survives the crash, but unfortunately we get attacked shortly after the crash, and Roth, one of Lara's dad's friends and mentor, dies during that attack, protecting Lara. So rip Roth.
I should have gone with them.
So here
from the
Here I'm going to buy a bunch of skills just to get to tier 2 because we want climber's agility, which is going to give us some increased movement speed tech. I'm now going to be able to roll out of every single jump, and it just allows us to move a little bit faster.
Yeah, from this point on, there's going to be a different movement tech throughout the rest of the run. If you play, this is actually a DLC for whatever reason. They decided to put it in a DLC. And then every other game saw the importance of it and allows it to be unlocked much earlier.
Yeah, so both the Rise and Shadow runs, basically the first fire of the of the game, you unlock this skill, which has a different name in each one. In Rise, it's called... This one, it's Climber's Agility. Rise, it's called Lightfoot. And in Shadow, it's called Repose's Drop. But it's the exact same skill. Here's one of the trickier strats of the run. And we got the spawn. So unfortunately, that's a full minute of time loss.
Quietly.
I don't know where the where it happens on this version, but on PC, if you still are able to pull the door, you can end up getting the respawn point past the door. So I always, even if I do end up spawning the dogs there, I end up at least trying for it.
Oh, really? I'd never have bothered, because anytime I've tried to go for the door, I just end up into one of the QTE struggles with the dogs instead of, being able to. There we go. That's what we want. No one on the bridge, no spawn, and then we're on our way. And I'm going to completely overshoot the deer. Okay, Lara. This is not a hard skip. There we go. So that was actually slower than doing intended, but normally that's easy to do on a first try. It's a small little puzzle. You're supposed to pull the deer with a rope arrow. It swings the contraption there, and a handhold comes so that you can swing across to the craggy wall there. That you can just kind of jump crooked to swing off the thing, and then jump off the pole that's right behind the deer.
So we just left a forest in the nighttime, crawled through a little cave, and all of a sudden it's, late morning.
Yeah, somehow.
Alex, I've been trying to reach you all morning.
One of the things that we can use Climber's Agility for is delaying the picking up of a radio. So normally at this point, Laura would be slow walking, talking on the radio, but by using Climber's Agility and constantly jump rolling throughout that entire point, we delay that, so we never actually have to do it.
Which unfortunately just gets us here sooner, so we wait here longer. It doesn't actually save us any time, because we have to wait for one of these platforms that we actually can jump on anyway. And it gets... If you don't use Climber's Agility, you would be getting onto the platform right now. So you just would have less time before being able to jump to this, but yeah. Now we got a little exposition auto scroller. And then, very shortly, some really good hair physics.
What's going on? I don't think we can leave this island. Something is keeping us here. I have to go back to the monastery. Are you sure? Yes, Sam. I need you to keep this to yourself for now.
Look at that hair.
I'm going to help Reyes fix that boat, but then I'm taking it in.
That doesn't happen in PC.
Yeah, this is definitive edition. This is those really improved HD textures of the definitive edition going to work there. All right, so here we can try to get this rope arrow early. As soon as it turns red, we can attach it before the platform actually stops moving, which allows us to jump onto the rope a little bit earlier rather than wait for it to come to a complete stop. So some ladders throughout the game we'll be able to jump on like this. It's just going to allow us to move a little quicker up them than climbing rung by rung.
It's too quiet.
And this is another one of those fights where we were talking about where positioning is going to be key to influencing enemy locations and spawn-ins. So I'm gonna try not to move too far forward. Did that get the guy behind? No, it didn't. We can try to get these guys as they're coming off the ropes as much as we can. And that's pretty much the end of the fight. These last two guys will come in, and I can shoot them off just to get the trigger a bit earlier, but you'll notice he's not going to attack. We're just going to get the cutscene. Sometimes you can actually get those last two guys, you can get up face to face with them, and they'll just kind of like stand there in an idle animation until the cutscene triggers.
Here we're just climbing around the boat, try to protect yourself from the guy with the stationary machine gun, and then we're going to enter another one of these sliding puzzles. This one's going to be zipline instead of sliding, but
so this
same
is
general concept.
This is one that gets people a lot casually. You only want to drop on these ones if you give any directional input. Lara will tend to overshoot the ropes. So all I'm going to do as soon as the slow motion begins is just drop. And I'm going to aim just to get out of the water here a little quicker.
Something tells me the others found an easier way down. Made it. Now, where are they?
There is a skip for this cutscene, but RTA, it saves no time whatsoever.
Skipping the cutscene's actually a time loss on PC.
Is it a time loss on PC too? Okay.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, it's pretty much the same time if you get it first try RTA for console, but that's getting it first try. So it's like, why take the risk of missing a moderately difficult skip when you can just trigger the cutscene and go?
Yeah, so if there's a reason for you to be down on that beach, like I'm not sure what the, for instance, 100% route does, if they have to go to that beach, then it's, you're further ahead to go through the cutscene. But to go the whole way down around actually costs as much time as just going through the cutscene does.
But right now, they're trying to fix that boat on the beach. They need to move an engine, which means they need
There it is.
to hoist it and stuff. So we're grabbing block and tackle and that from here, and gonna make our way back down. But we also need some tools. So once we get back, we're gonna leave the rest of the crew behind again to go get those tools. But one of the other members of the crew has already gone ahead to attempt to retrieve them. Sir, that was rude. Sir, you made me miss my jump.
Let's get out of here.
It was totally my fault for jumping early, but I'm gonna blame him anyway.
I mean, I always do.
So as soon as Lara lets go of this rope to drop in the water here, we're going to reload checkpoint, and that just avoids us having to slow walk through waist-deep water, and we're on the beach. Game forces us into this fire, but we've done absolutely everything that we need to do at fires for the run, so we're just going to back straight out.
At this point, we skip the second or the first upgrade for the bow and go straight to the second upgrade. It's given to us by Jonah. This is the compound bow, which allows us to shoot arrows into these craggy walls to create zip lines.
Yeah.
This particular wall does not allow for it, but a lot of times you'll see us aim very low along the craggy wall. That'll allow Laura to slide down instead of crawl her way across. For that one, no matter where you put the arrow, she has to crawl.
Yeah.
You should wait for her. Lara. No, I got this.
You actually can get a freak zip every now and then with a low placement, but it's just not worth risking going for it, because chances are you're going to have to climb anyway. And if you put it low and you have to climb anyway, then you have to climb up the wall to get to the ledge. So you may as well just place it as close to the ledge as possible. When 95% of the time you're going to have to climb it anyway. I'd say more than 95%.
Here, if you happen to be stealthy and go through it, you can listen to a wild double rainbow the whole way across the sky discussion about the enemies.
Yeah, you kind of talked through it there, but I went for a little bit of quieter movement just to let the dialogue play a bit. So if you watch the subtitles there, you can see there. One guy's just totally geeking out about the rainbow. His buddy's just kind of like, dude, what are you on about? He's like, don't you see it, man? It's amazing.
Coming up, we have a little bit of an annoying fight that the enemies start out spawned all over the room and then drop down onto you, but we're going to use a little bit of stealth here to kill the ones without alerting anyone, and we're going to try to eliminate them as they drop down.
This is a nice community, kind of a community collaborative effort, mainly myself and one of the PC runners. There's a skip that you can do in this room. The old method for doing the skip was just to go for it. Well, everyone's alive in the room and spamming you like crazy, and you were almost guaranteed to die. Like 95% of the time you were gonna die trying to go for the skip. So the other option was to just do the room essentially as intended. So I developed decent fight strats to do the room essentially as intended. But that other runner figured out that, hey, once you kill up to a certain point, you can do the skip without anyone really harassing you other than one guy who's just throwing things at you, and he's easy enough to kind of avoid. So right here, we're getting a checkpoint from killing the first group of enemies. So I'm going to reload checkpoint here, which is going to give us nice consistent spawns and put us in the same spot. I'm going to throw a couple grenades in the middle. Some of these guys will just faint off the ropes, and then we can hopefully kill some of the others as they're dropped in. So now as the big guy is going to come in, and now we're going to start setting up for the skip. So we do that by shooting a bunch of the concrete off this pillar. So yeah, this guy's going to throw dynamite at us, so we'll occasionally have to back away from it just to ensure that we're not getting too much trouble. Can that chunk go? There we go. And then we're going to just jump off this pillar and wing around there. So normally you're supposed to go through the door that this guy came out of. Lara, can you not try to take cover? And she didn't jump. Wow. Way to eat my input, Lara. But yeah, the guy that came through here, he comes out of a door. Lara. He comes out of a door. You're normally supposed to go up a set of stairs, and there's a whole bunch of enemies on the stairs. They push down a barrel. Oh my god, Lara. Do the skip fine, and then she eats a jump input, a simple jump input, and now she won't cooperate on the skip. There we go. I don't trust her.
It is certainly one of the more frustrating platforms. And if you don't remove every little piece of concrete, it gets progressively harder.
Yeah. Yeah, that skip's not, I wouldn't say the hardest, but it's definitely not an easy skip either. It obviously not intended for you to be jumping off of there, so getting a good footing off of the chunk of pillar that's there isn't the easiest. Alright, so now we got the boat fight. There's going to be 2 enemies with bows and a big brute. We only actually have to kill the brute. I might kill one of the bow guys just so he doesn't harass me and stagger me too much. Why did you notice me instantaneously? I don't know why that happens sometimes. Okay, so I'm going to wait for him to swing at me. And it's going to take 3 shots to his head. Normally I can get a bow shot right away. And it'll only be 2 shots. Okay, apparently it only took 2. But they'll force him into these QTEs to finish the fight. And then the 2 bow guys just disappear. I mean, they do run away, technically. Like, there's the dialogue of fall back to the base. But yeah, they essentially just despawn. And from this big guy, we get the rope ascender, which allows us to pull heavy things like this with the rope. And also, instead of having to slow climb some of the ropes, we can just zip up them.
The rope ascender actually only needed for this part of the game. The glitch run skips it completely, which, you know, if it was required for any other part, would mean that we'd have to come around and grab it, but luckily not that important. So here we've got a little puzzle. Move this crane around the room to try to dislodge the door to get in and help our friend Alex. So we're gonna pull this around, do the little puzzle, and then figure out how Alex is doing.
If I could get up there somehow, I might be able to clear it.
Luckily, like pretty much every puzzle in all 3 of these games, everything has a set starting point, so there's no guesswork or anything. We just know exactly the steps to solve this. Hopefully get a jump and a roll here. There we go. Nice fast movement. Just avoids a little bit of slow crouch walking through that crawl space. Lara, on the stairs. And being nice and close on the stairs here at the end, Lara's going to defy leverage physics. Oh my god. And actually make this thing pull all the way back from 2 feet away. So we can just get into the cutscene trigger faster.
Oh, Alex. You got the tools.
Finally, I impressed you.
Let's get you out of here.
God.
Oh, sorry.
And we got another one of the unskippable cutscenes here, unfortunately. You have to watch Lara be nice to one of the worst characters, other than Whitman, who's actually bad. One of the worst of the good characters from the crew.
Take the tools.
Not without you.
How often does a guy like me?
And those of you that are observant realize that he has now put himself in a life-threatening situation for a wrench and a screwdriver.
Yeah. I don't know why they didn't choose to like go with a toolkit or a bag or something like that. They had to show us it just being a wrench and a screwdriver, like making this seem like really not worth it. Like you probably could have improvised those tools. At least if you like made it as a toolkit, it would have been left up to our imagination what was in the toolkit to fix the engine on the boat.
Here we get a demonstration of the rope ascender used to climb up quickly.
Yep. Alright, let's see if I can do this. Just for the memes. Okay. Sometimes if you take that corner a little tight coming out of there, the floor doesn't load properly and you could just fall through the map.
Here, we're just going to go back the way we came to get back to our friends. We're going to take a little bit of a different route, but a lot of it's going to look very familiar.
Yeah. It's actually one thing they do really well with particularly some of the map from the beginning of the game is they have you basically go over the same piece of map about 4 times, but from different angles and elevations. So we never commented on it, but yeah, we've revisited one of the early sections of the game multiple times at this point. But it's just from a different angle and a different elevation each time, so that you can actually look down at like, hey, I was there like an hour ago.
Control over storms. I need answers.
It's really, really cool level design that way. I'm really low on rifle ammo. Not that it really matters, but... a lot lower than I normally am at this point. And if you're really good with your inputs coming off of those zip lines, you can sometimes like nicely launch off, use the momentum and launch off, so you can avoid mantle animations or standing animations at one point where you can just launch off of one zip line onto the next one. However, this next one is one we're going to avoid getting that animation, because doing that animation would alert enemies, and we want to maintain stealth for the start of this. So I'm gonna let her stop her forward momentum and just drop straight down, just so we can get rid of these guys without being detected. And that didn't actually hit his helmet. There we go. And this is another one of those zip lines where a lot of people end up dying. The game teaches you earlier that you should press circle and drop off one zip line to another. This one's all cinematic, so you don't want to touch anything.
It is cinematic, but it does accept input.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
If you're pushing a directional input, she can miss the next route.
So at the end of the last rope there was a checkpoint. We reload on it. It both gets us off the rope and places us further along the beach, and also makes this cutscene skippable. If we had just went straight down and moved forward as intended, that cutscene would be unskippable for some reason.
Now we're going to climb up to the research bunker, which is another section down here at the beachhead, and there's going to be, a couple of fights along the way, and more of these different little movement puzzles. this particular wall is probably my least favorite in the game. I've fallen off of it in every different way possible.
Yeah, so this is one you'll notice even the most experienced runners don't mess with. We just pretty much do this wall as intended. You can do jumps on this wall, but most of us are going to play it safe just because that wall's temperamental and it's so easy to fall off of it. Going to pull both of these platforms close to us and hope that the physics engine is nice to us, that they don't swing away at the wrong times. Because it is possible for them to swing far enough apart from each other that she'll miss the jumps.
So there's a couple enemies coming up. There's a couple of different ways to go about killing them. I think most people have their own different ways of going about it, but realistically, it's you just kill these two, and if they alert, you kill the guys above.
Only got one of them. So yeah, there is the ability to kill the first two guys without being alerted with a grenade like I just launched there. And that would prevent these last two guys from spawning in. But unfortunately, the grenade only took out one of the guys. I put it a little too far left, I think. It's kind of hard to get that shot because you can't really see exactly where you're placing it, for one. And also there is like a wire or something and a pole above them that the grenade can potentially collide with as well. All right, and then coming into the bunker here, you're normally supposed to jump to this wall, go down and tread through some water. We're gonna actually just go straight to the ledge and drop down the ledge. We didn't quite get on the rock there, but we're gonna go to this side. You're supposed to go all the way around here. We're just gonna go jump straight over here and avoid having to go the long way.
Coming up, there's a little bit of an elevator puzzle. You have to raise it to the right heights and hit the correct items and stuff like that. It's very one-dimensional in terms of once you learn it, you know it. But it does trick up a lot of people, usually their first playthrough.
I just saw that chat comment there, Daniel. Yes, the more modern of the Tomb Raider movies with Alicia, I'm not even going to try to pronounce her last name right now, is based loosely around this game. They made a lot of weird changes to it for some reason, even though this was well set up for an adaptation as it is. But yeah, it is loosely based off of this game. The grate below the elevator in this is actually so poorly designed that it's easier to clip through than you could possibly imagine. Yeah. As long as you just get on it and jump in the corner twice, you've clipped through and you skip the entire puzzle,
which is unfortunate that glitchless can't perform that because it saves a lot of time and heartache.
Yeah, this puzzle is not difficult, but it is a little on the time-consuming side. Having to do multiple elevations, multiple slow climb animations, etc.
I think that did the trick.
And now we can just drop down here and be on our way. So here we got to go up the stairs to trigger cutscene, down the stairs to trigger enemy spawn in, and then we go back up the stairs to start the fight. I mean, I could start the fight from down there, but... hopefully... no, I'm not going to get good position to get all... oh, I did get all three with the barrel. I thought the first guy was too far ahead. Thank you. Try to get rid of the dynamite guy because he's my biggest concern getting out of here. So now that this barrier broke, we can just leave, provided we don't get spammed too much.
Those guys run right by you. They have like a set position that they run to before they start fighting.
Yeah.
And here, again, we're gonna try to use jump rolls if we can to just skip the slow walk on the walkie-talkie.
Yeah. It's hard to, one, keep the rhythm through here, and also to, you know, have sense of direction as to where you're going, because it's a tight, dark space, and it's hard to maintain jump rolls and camera positioning all at the same time, so it's only like a 5 to 10 second time save if you maintain the jump rolls throughout the entire part, though. So, not something you really stress too much when you do lose it. Alright, and here's the one zip line where if I do time this correctly, we can go launch off the one straight to the other without having to stand on the platform in the middle.
I always kill those guys. Just habit at this point.
Oh yeah. Yeah, on normal I've never had difficulty. Back when hard was a category, I would kill them for hard.
Do you really want to know? No.
Because they definitely will shoot you, almost always shoot you off the zip line on hard.
Well, on glitched, you don't have the rope ascenders, so you have to slow climb it.
Yeah, if we're glitched, yeah.
They shoot you off every time, so I just got in the habit, so even when I go back to glitchless, I still just shoot them.
Yeah, on glitchless with the rope ascender, you're generally going to be safe. I have been shot off by them, but it's one of those things that's 1 out of every like 50 runs, maybe.
All right, let's go.
No. I'll need you and Reyes to guard the main entrance while I go in after Sam.
So we get a little bit of unskippable cutscenes toward the end here. So instead, they fix the boat, but instead of, you know, leaving, Lara's like, well, there's something supernatural going on here. If we try to leave, a storm's just going to sink us. We can't just leave. We have to figure out what's going on and fix it if we're going to be able to leave. Plus, Whitman kidnapped Sam and took them to the Solari and the Stormguard, as we're going to see shortly after 5 seconds of inputs. Because we go right from that cutscene into another one that, unfortunately, on the Definitive Edition, is unskippable. Skippable on PC, though.
There's sometimes I watch it, though, just for the cathartic aspect of it.
Yeah, just watching Whitman get finished off.
She's still alive. And the good doctor. What the hell are you doing, Whitman?
Who are these
The Storm Guard.
people?
They guard the monastery. They wait only to be introduced to their new queen.
By the one who brought her back to us.
Of course. I've encountered these archaic tribes before. Let's get some awards, James.
He thinks very highly of himself.
My name is Dr. James Whitman. I come to you in peace. I bring you your new queen.
Oh no.
Your queen. What is it in Japanese? Your Joe.
And Rip Whitman, the one person of the crew that 100% deserves it. And Lara's favorite pastime, besides falling off of walls, is shouting her friends' names. Alright, so in here there's a few enemies, but we actually can skip them. So I'm gonna preemptively get my fire arrows out. I'm gonna burn that barrier. I'm gonna wait just a moment for the barrier to burn, and then we're just gonna make our way past all these guys and get the stupid dodge animation that pulls the camera.
Here coming up, we have a couple of enemies, an entire room full of them, but luckily we just continue to sneak past.
Yeah. Depending on how you treat the previous room, you can roll up the stairs there, but because we leave the enemies alive in that, for whatever reason, rolling up the stairs will create an alert and put you into a death animation. So we just do some scrambles up the stairs instead.
Yeah, I think if you kill all three, you can roll.
Yeah, if you either kill all three, or if you do the casual method of just letting everyone leave and go through when there's no enemies at all, I believe you can roll as well.
But the kill none or kill one, both of those, you can't roll.
So even in the crash cam here, we can use the jump and roll movement tech to get forward a little faster. Now here, we can technically skip these enemies, but they tend to follow you and make it more headache than it's worth, so we take just a split second and get rid of them, as long as they, hit body shots and not grazing shots. So another
Now we're
round
coming-
of shouting Sam's name.
It is a pastime.
It is. She does it in
Now
all
we're coming
three.
up- Yeah, now we're coming up to the last two fights here. This one is the last fight that PC runners perform. And it is...
And that glitched runners
like a-
perform too. This is a fight that's required in all the categories.
Yes. And then it's like a 3-stage fight here. at the beginning he's going to have to kill a few swordsmen. Then he's going to cross to the other side and then kill a few people there. Then there will be a point where he's able to reset and do the final stage of the fight.
Hey, then. Oh, you weren't close enough? Rude.
So here he has to kill certain enemies, certain number of
Where's this guy?
the bowmen, and then a few of the guys with armor and spears. We're going to use the explosives to kill
That's
the
gonna
majority
blow
of
up. Okay, maybe it won't. Too far away. Too far away. God, rude. No, come on. Okay, that worked. Where are you going?
And then once we kill enough of the bowmen, we'll hear a war cry and be able to. Oh, they were way back there.
Yeah, they
and
were.
be able to kill or restart our checkpoint.
Yeah, right there. And get our checkpoint.
Here, the enemies all drop down in a very scripted manner. We can use the low HP of jumpers to get some quick kills.
Wait, I want you alive anyway. Climb up. Okay, fine, don't. Oh, I don't have any? Okay, I'm stuck. Excuse me. Do I seriously not have any? Yeah, I don't. And I don't have any of that either. Well then.
A little bit messy, we got this.
Yeah. Not exactly the way you want this fight to go, but this fight never goes the way you want it to. Unless you're, on a pace that isn't favorable. You're way over there? Oh my... Sir? Why? Alright then.
Alright, and then once you kill all of them, you get a little cinematic where the ability to pull the door opens up and we can move on to the next puzzle.
We've got a big Oni. Oh wait, we don't have to fight him. He gets blown off the bridge by the wind. Well, actually, a bunch of debris gets blown and knocks him off. We got a little puzzle.
Yeah, here we've got a puzzle that we have to open up the floor and draw up the cage, and then we're going to use the cage to first smash the rocks to open our path, then we're going to ride on top of it to escape.
So we raise it up, pull it back to break open a path, and then we're going to close it up and drop it so that it's low enough that we can get on top of it to use it to swing over to that path that we just opened up.
Need to get up there somehow.
Here, I want to make sure to be on the side because that chain can actually push you off as it swings through.
The Sun Queens. Sam, a vessel for the Queen's soul.
Now we get our point of no return fire. If you want to go back and get collectibles, do it now, even though you can free roam explore the maps after the end of the game anyway.
So here we have climb up the remainder of this tower to the top, and then we're gonna have one more fight. But the climb, it definitely has a couple spots that can lead to a little bit of heartache and, you know, good runs.
Yeah.
It's mostly just movement between, you know, different platforms and walls, but there's just this problem with Laura where sometimes it doesn't matter what input you give her, she decides that hole in the ground is looking good and she's going to go in it no matter what.
Yeah, Lara's a bit of a meme. I have a command for my chat where if you put !Lara, it just comes back as like, hey, she has a mind of her own. I can ask her to do things, but it's up to her whether she wants to or not. Such as this bell has a bit of a meme where somehow she just will not have enough distance to grab this sometimes.
Looks good here. Yep.
Lara, watch out! Those bastards.
No one knows why, it just every now and then happens.
Thanks, Rose.
It's even weirder without using the rope ascender,
We're not leaving.
I could imagine, yeah.
We'll be waiting.
because you can actually climb too far without it and then overshoot.
Interesting. Yeah, I can't say I've ever done that without the rope ascender, so.
Right here is what we consider the first skip. I honestly see even first-time players who've never tried the game before, they do the skip more often than they do the intended path.
Yeah.
So
Ooh,
normally he would climb around and then drop down and then continue to climb around to drop up there, or to jump up there, but you can just drop off the rope into the final stage of that little climb.
Here we can do a few little jumps. I'll do some jump climbing on this first wall, because this one, as long as I don't give her directional input, she'll kind of go in a nice straight line for me. The rest of this, I'm going to play on the safe side because, one, she sometimes will change direction on her own, and two, those bits of debris that are flying, some of them do have collision, and if you're mid-air, when one hits you, it will, as I mentioned earlier on one of the walls, potentially push you away from the wall.
So that's the top of the climb. From right here, PC players can use that little spike next to the spawn point to jump across to the cutscene that ends the game. But because it's not really feasible on the definitive edition with a controller, we've got one more fight where we circle around the perimeter.
Oh, he took the shield guy. Nice. You lived though. I thought you went as well. Yes, we definitely wanted that animation, Lara. 100%. Okay, then. Sir? Thank you.
Sometimes enemies just value cover.
Alright. Oh, the second shield guy's really late. Hi, thank you for joining the fight. That didn't get him? Wow. Rude. Make me do this the slow way, sir. Alright. And hopefully I can pull off the perfect strats on the Oni here. Because you can actually make this fight extremely simple. So starting off, we want him to swing. There we go. Get a nice shot on his back, and now we're going to kind of dance around him. Try to get some more shots on his back. Didn't quite get one there. Oh, it did count still. Okay. Okay, so this is an easy phase on 2, because as soon as he stands up, there we go. And phase 3 fast strat. Nope, couldn't quite get it. So you actually can force him straight into the QT prompt on phase 3 as well. But that's okay.
It's still a nice fight.
Alright, and now we got just Matthias to deal with. But Matthias isn't really a fight, it's more just a little bit of cinematic QT stuff.
On bad runs, I've died to him plenty.
Just for the memes, or...
Just because I stopped paying attention at this point.
Fair.
Like if I'm this far along and I know I'm not close, I'm spending more time complaining than actually playing.
Fair enough. So time will be coming up when I start spamming the guns as soon as Matthias falls. So just spam him a bit, and then he's gonna fall. Time.
EG.
Excellent run.
Yeah. What was time?
Tab over to something that actually has the correct time. 2:16:43.
Not bad for a marathon run. We take those.
That's
Especially
a very good time for a marathon.
Especially with a few meme deaths in there.
Yeah, sorry again for jinxing you on that one rope.
Yeah, I'm blaming you. I'm blaming you entirely on that one.
Cater's curse.
Yeah.
All right. Well, thank you so much for showing off this run. We do have
Yes.
one more run after this, though. So we will take a quick break while we get set up for. Unless you want to talk about stuff before we switch, but I figured you might
No.
want to do it.
Yeah, we can
Okay.
take the break and jump into all that once we come back.
I figured as much, but yeah. So we're gonna take a quick break. We'll be back with Rise of the Tomb Raider and Baba Yaga percent. See you in just a few minutes, everyone. Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Games Done Quick Hotfix. Today we are celebrating Lara Croft's birthday, which is February 14th. We've just seen a run of Tomb Raider 2013. Now we're going to see Rise of the Tomb Raider, Baba Yaga Glitchless. I'll hand it over, let everybody reintroduce themselves.
Hey, I am Satori. I have got with me Kavelish, one of the fellow runners and moderator for some of these games. This is Rise of the Tomb Raider, Baba Yaga, which is one of the DLCs that came out for Rise of the Tomb Raider. It is glitchless, but that is mainly because that is the only run. There has been no any percent style skips found for this section of the game, so glitchless is all we got. Way back in the day, this category did start from the very beginning of the game, which they seemed counterintuitive. You had to run through an hour of the main game to be able to, 40-ish minutes of the main game to be able to run the DLC, because that's when you first gain access to the DLC. However, a few of the runners, including myself, pushed for having it start from a save state. The original idea was to have it start from just whatever type of inventory you would have in a main game run at the point that the DLC becomes available to you. But it was made, the decision was made to run off of a pretty well maxed out file with just a couple stipulations. Like the one tomb that you go to open up this area of the map cannot have been done. You need to have the door still sealed off. Normally we would show off our inventory in that, but this being just a marathon run, we don't need to do that. I'm not going to PB. Watch me PB. But I could do it at the end. But we would hit this campfire, we would show off our inventory, and then we get up and we reload checkpoint to start time. So time will start in 3, 2, 1, go. Just gives us a nice starting point. We jump onto the zip line. I'm going to immediately pull out poison arrows, which, if any of you have played Rise of the Tomb Raider, it's they're a little OP, and we are going, Lara, we are going to abuse those. So we got 2 enemies onto the left here. We're just going to get rid of both of them with that, and this guy's here. We're just going to get rid of him there. And then we open up this, and there's someone trapped in here. Any Ashley Birch fans?
My name is
Tiny Tina? Aloy? Chloe Price?
Yeah.
Etc., etc.?
The firing pin never worked anyway. You hurt.
We got Ashley Birch.
Need to sit down for a moment. Lara, was it? I'm Nadia. I could use your help.
Yeah, I just got invited to do this commentary because I have Chloe Price's tattoo on my arm, so...
Do you really?
I do.
I never knew that.
Trying to catch up with him when the invaders caught me. Before I was born, the witch killed my grandmother. Grandpa.
All right, I started the... So right now, while she's talking, I'm going to move forward to about here. We can't go too far, otherwise the combo stops, but we'll go as far as we can, and then accept the mission before moving on. So another one of the stipulations is this kitty cannot have been killed. So kitty's here. We move forward, and because I was just running 2013, my muscle memory of which arrows to hit is going to be a little off. Because as I was mentioning during that run, they swapped the rope arrows and the special ammo controls around between the games.
Loud and clear. I can monitor the invaders' frequencies from here.
We'll see how many times I miscue my inputs when it comes to rope arrows and special ammo.
My people stay far away from that place. They have for centuries.
So this beginning part's, it's just a lot of movement around the side of this cliff to get down to where we want to go.
Yeah, so we get a bit of exposition. Those of you that aren't familiar with Baba Yaga, it actually is a Slavic bit of folklore. My family is of Ukrainian heritage, so I nerded out huge when this came out because I was very well familiar with the legend of Baba Yaga
But
growing up.
witch, straight out of a Russian folktale. It sounds unlikely.
Just be careful. Something is in the Veil. Nothing good happens in that place.
So yeah, Baba Yaga in most versions, there's some versions where she's a good witch and a friendly witch, but in most versions of it, she's just a witch, quite often eats children, and she has a house. Thank you so much for that, Lara. Don't attach to the wall.
Lara, hang on.
Classic.
Picking up a transmission.
Sometimes she just sees a hole and she wants to jump in it.
Yeah, that's just Lara. Typical Lara things. I mean, we are kind of doing a skip here, so there we go.
So yeah, Baba Yaga, her house is a walking house on giant chicken legs.
Yeah.
Something's definitely happening out there.
But witches can't be real, right? There's got to be something more to this. Gotta be.
No need to go
So the tomb would be right behind us that we cannot have accessed. Thankfully, the skill you get from that tomb is not one of the ones we would have wanted for the maxed out save file anyway, so it's not a big deal that we aren't able to access it. I can't remember what skill that tomb gives you, but it's not one that would be beneficial to the run anyway. I actually don't think we really make use of any of the tomb skills for the run. It's mostly just inventory upgrades. All right.
I think I found
So now we're into the Veil, which is the actual DLC map.
out here.
Be careful. This is her land.
And there's a bunch of like pollen.
Flowers.
What did you say? What did you say? I can't understand you.
Got to be careful about eating Baba's pierogies here. Think they're laced with something. I love this. All these heads follow her.
Must be dreaming. It isn't real. Can't be. Can't be.
So now we go for a little trip.
Dad? No, it can't be.
Here we follow through a very elaborate, complicated tree maze.
Wait, where am I? How far does this path go? It's not real.
With maybe some minor hallucinations along the way.
Also a jump scare warning.
Dad, stop.
Ah! Terrifying.
There is a truth behind it all.
I just want to leave, please.
Oh, and we got the no spawn on the hallway. So there is supposed to be a hallway of the Croft Manor here. That's sometimes when you're just maintaining consistent forward input, it doesn't spawn in. It doesn't save any time. It's just visual, but yeah.
Oh, Dad, no. Don't do it, please.
Someday. You'll understand.
Who are you?
Come and see.
So in the majority of this run, anytime that there's combat, Satori's going to try to place the overpowered poison arrows in ways that prevent enemies from spawning or at least entering combat once they spawn. So I think, yeah, the first time he wants to do it is right around here, I believe.
Yeah. So there's two little spots where these wolves will spawn from, and hopefully a couple well-placed arrows is going to prevent any spawns. We got one that made it past. So normally, I think it's... I want to say 6 wolves that you would have to fight there.
What happened? You started coughing, said something about flowers and pollen, and then nothing.
But yeah, you can just spawn trap them with the poison arrow clouds there.
God, I hope I was.
Hallucinating? There is a flower in a valley that can bring on visions, but the effects are too weak.
Any idea what this place is? I see ducks and pipes. Soviet from the looks of it.
It has to be the outpost the Soviets built to study the ruins. My grandmother.
So we got a little puzzle here,
to help with our research, but
and with optimal movement, we can time it so that the rope doesn't break on us, and we can just do this all in one motion.
Some sort of
Because the tension will build on that rope if you take too long, and it will break.
Of course. She's refining the pollen, weaponizing it.
As soon as
There's no magic.
she backs out there, we're going to reload checkpoint. It avoids the little bit of dialogue from picking up that document, and also allows us to move forward immediately to fast travel. Now we have to try to get an... Can I get the camp? Thank you. Try to get an antidote for the hallucinogenic effects of the pollen. So we need to harvest some deer livers that feed on the flowers, and also some of the seed pods from the flowers, as well as a pesticide. Or, yeah, I think it's a pesticide, not a herbicide. But
All right, Nadia, I'm back at the installation. Any advice on where to start looking?
Okay, first, the seed pods. The flowers grow inside the caves around there. There's never enough of them to make you sick, so you should be able to gather some safely. The livers should be easy.
thankfully, at the
Flowers, so you'll just need to track them down.
wolf cave here, there's a few deer carcasses kicking around that we can collect. The wolves were very kind not to eat the liver of the deer, and we can collect the deer livers from these instead of having to go hunt deer and chase them around the map.
It's the flowers. Just need the seed pods.
So we got 3 of the seed pods in this cave, and then we're going to go to one more cave to collect 2 more, because we need 2 deer liver and 5 seed pods.
How thoughtful of those nice wolves to leave the livers for us.
I know, right? They gorged pretty good on those deer, but they left behind the liver. So on rope pulls here, as soon as the animation of the break happens, I can scramble out of the pull, and it just allows us to start moving a little earlier than if I let the full animation play. Hopefully I can get some good movement here. We want to try to get far enough forward before the mission update.
Are you sure it's the same chemical?
I think we might have got it.
I'm sure it's the chemical grandmother's recipe mentioned, but I am not sure.
Nope, we didn't. So you can prevent the spawn of these enemies right here. Okay, apparently I need to reload.
This ends here and now.
That wasn't a headshot? Okay. So yeah, it is possible to prevent that spawn, but you do need to have really clean movement to be able to get it far enough ahead to do so.
Found it. I'm mixing the ingredients now. Any word on that patrol?
Just picked up another transmission. They're on the move.
Where are they now?
But now we get the enemies that spawn as part of the DLC.
We might be able to sneak past them, but it's probably too late. Sorry, Lara.
Damn.
So we kill 4 with poison arrows, and then you are not in your normal spot, but that's actually okay. So this guy, we want to... Oh, no. We want to kill from further back here because we want to be close enough to the fire to hit that before the dialogue starts. If the dialogue starts before you are at the fire, you're locked out of it until they stop talking. So you want to try to make sure you leave one enemy alive, that you can be closer to the fire and be able to fast travel before the dialogue begins.
Only enough for 2 doses. Got to make them count.
Fortunately, I have to wait through that animation of her drinking the antidote.
It's working, Nadia. Everything looks... normal is the wrong word, but nothing like the last time.
Good. I've made my own antidote and enough for Grandpa.
Should be able to get a couple jumps out of here. Otherwise, this is a slow walk through this little corridor.
Scarecrows, of course.
So we get to start to see this area where she was just going through her little hallucinogenic trip for what it actually looks like. We can jump through the squeeze animation there.
The same place. I was lost in here. Just wolves. Damn.
Lara. But here we got a bit of a puzzle.
Ruins now. This doesn't look like a shrine.
But
Something functional. I see
we
ropes
can
and wooden
skip
gears.
half of it as long as we get good movement.
But they've all fallen apart now.
Attach this rope, and if I do this correct,
I'll let you know when it's arrived.
we're gonna try for it again though. We can get, instead of going all the way around, we can get Lara to grab the platform. Lara, okay. We'll do it as intended. It's only like a 3-second time save. But it is some fun little movement tech. So that's the first skip. The other skip is the one that's really important though. So normally, after initially getting up here and attaching this rope, you would want to change the positioning of those platforms to get up here. But because... oh, that's not good, that roll. Okay, we're good.
Oh, I was holding my breath.
Yeah, I was nervous on that timing. That little roll made me nervous that I wasn't gonna make it in time. The timing is really tight on that, but yeah, we can get across early. So we get this little platform moving, and now we get a little bit of exposition dump auto-scroller. But the devs were very nice to give us something to do during this auto-scroller. So we got 10 of these to shoot. Not part of the run, but I mean, we've got nothing else to really do during the auto-scroller. So we can just shoot some lanterns.
I think your record took 14 shots. Let's see how you do.
Yeah, the run before my record, I went 10 for 10, and then my record, I missed a bunch of shots.
House walking on giant bird legs, but without the pollen, it's just
Also,
an old contraption. I'm sorry.
Nadia is a really good ventriloquist.
Grandpa's story. She's Russian, someone who knew the myth well. Nadia, it's possible that your grandfather will know who she is. He was a prisoner in the Gulag, you said.
I didn't say that. Not exactly. Grandpa was a guard. My grandmother was a prisoner. She was a brilliant scientist, and they brought her out to the Vale to help study something in the ruins. But then the witch came. Grandpa never forgave himself.
Killing the witch won't bring him
Really
back.
good ventriloquist.
I understand.
She's been practicing for years.
There we go. All 10 lanterns.
10 for 10.
And now we just wait for the platform to get close enough. You can jump for this pretty early once you have the grapple, but the animation of climbing up the rope is so slow that it doesn't actually make it worth it.
Nadia, come quick!
No. Not...
She has to be inside. This is it. Bravo team. The missing...
All right, so now we get a better boss fight than the main game has.
No. I need that last antidote.
I agree. This actually is an enjoyable fight.
Yeah. Alright, so we got 5 of these things we need to explode on to Baba. Rude. So in between, I'll have to fire some shots at her just to keep her inside the cauldron. Otherwise, she will cut the rope. You'll notice I kind of avoided these enemies because they insta-die once the level of the water rises.
Come on, Lara, keep it together.
Here we'll just kind of spawn trap some enemies with poison arrows, etc. Technically don't really need to kill all these enemies, but less enemies means less getting spammed. So it makes it a little easier to survive here.
Stay down, damn it.
Ooh. That came close. A little shot at her there keeps her from throwing a fireball at us, and we normally would have a bit of a dramatic animation when she throws that fireball, so we can just chase her away.
Stay focused.
And these guys have been avoiding that cloud lately.
Shake it off.
From where? I have no idea where that shot came from. Lara, attach the rope, please. Thank you.
Stay right there.
We can skip the little barrier here by jumping around it.
Bit busy at the moment.
Just avoids the animation of having to rope pull that open.
The witch is my grandmother. She's alive. Please, you can't. Maybe we can get through to her. We have to try.
I'll do what I can, but we have to end this.
Again, we don't need to kill these enemies, but we're waiting on this to move into position anyway. So it just means less getting spammed. Here we're gonna get far enough forward to trigger the checkpoint and then reload. It's gonna despawn the enemies behind us, and then also make sure that these floating platforms are in a nice favorable position for us. And unfortunately, I shot the arrow a little early. Can usually get these two guys with that poison arrow cloud that I fired off there. Oh, I fired off a explosive arrow, that's why. And time, oh, she's gonna burn up. I'm stuck in the animation. They put a fire arrow down at my feet. They unfortunately put a fire arrow right at my feet, and I was animation locked. But I can demonstrate, you know, actually getting the poison arrow on those two.
That's what it was all for, right? It was just to demonstrate that.
Yeah, we just need to show off that strat, you know? Okay, can we stop? All right, time will be once I pull the lever and explode Baba with the fireball. So time will be now.
GG.
Good job.
Thank you.
That was a 2310.
2310?
Yeah.
Not bad. Especially considering I had to redo that final ascent again.
Yeah.
And also didn't get the spawn prevention at the lumber mill.
I want to give a big shout out to both of you for coming on today for showcasing these two games. Very wonderful display of both of them and excellent commentary on both.
Yeah, thank you as always for having me. It's always a pleasure to do these, showcase some great games and fun runs. I guess I'll jump into it. Obviously, I'm Satori Earth. You can find me pretty much anywhere as Satori Earth. I stream multiple days a week on Twitch, as well as if you wanted to see any of the PBs, I do have records for both the previous run of Tomb Raider 2013 Definitive Edition Glitchless and for the Baba Yaga run. In fact, my RTA is even better than the PCE RTA, just saying, for Baba Yaga. If you want to find any of those runs, though, those are all up on my YouTube under Satori Earth as well. I use that name for pretty much anything that I want to be found on, so yeah, you can find me both those places. Kavelish, tell the lovely people about yourself.
I'm obviously Kavelish. I run mostly 2013 glitched and glitchless. I can do Rise glitched, and then more recently I've been in a slew of other games as well. So you can find me on Twitch at Kavelish, on YouTube is Kavelish, and I don't think I have any other social medias. So
excellent. And yeah, if you wanted to learn the 2013 run, I do have a tutorial for glitchless on my YouTube as well. I go very in depth, so if you're a brand new speedrunner, guess what? I give you so much detail as to every little thing that it should be a nice little transition into getting into the world of speedrunning for you. And if you're an experienced runner, well, everything's got nice little timestamps so you can skim ahead to all the important bits of the run that aren't very obvious to someone who has a good number of runs under their belt.
yeah, I created a tutorial not knowing that Satori was working on his. Less than a week later, like my 3-hour tutorial just kind of going through the run was quickly overshadowed by the 17-hour monstrosity that's like tabbed out in multiple videos. It is extremely thorough. It goes through just about everything there is.
Hey, no, I think it's only like 6 or 7 hours long.
That's a very substantial run or tutorial, though. Yeah, definitely be sure to check these two out if you're interested in the runs you saw today. Both very fantastic runners of the games. So, again, thank you both so much for coming on and celebrating Lara Croft's birthday today. Or,
yeah,
well, in a few days, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean.
Yeah, and everyone, enjoy those remasters out on her birthday on the 14th.
Yeah, that's absolutely sick. Well, again, thank you all so much, and thank you everybody for watching. If you did miss out on any of the broadcasts today, we did start off with DKC Tropical Freeze 10th anniversary. We are going to be replaying the broadcast right after we finish here, so if you missed anything, be sure to stick around and you can watch it. With that said, again, thank you both so much. We will be back Wednesday for you. We will not be doing anything tomorrow. We'll see you in a few days, everyone.